Hey everybody, and welcome back. In this video, what we're going to talk about is the lead arm spiral, which is absolutely misunderstood, in my opinion, by pretty much everybody that plays golf. But before we get into the content, go ahead and hit the like button, the subscribe button, the notification stuff, all that, because again, it's going to help the channel grow. So let's get into this. Everybody in the modern swing says getting a cup in this left wrist, our lead wrist, is absolutely a no-no, no matter what. Well, if you're doing or trying to make the same fundamental moves that Mr. Hogan did, this cup is an absolute fundamental, okay? But it's not the way that you think how he got it, okay? So we really need to take a look at this in depth, because a lot of people are like, if you go to the top and you've got this cup in your wrist like this, that it's pretty much just an absolute cataclysmic problem when you're coming down, because it's going to create all kinds of difficult problems. All right, now what you guys really need to understand, the spiral is not this, of course not, because there's nothing spiraling, right? The spiral of the club is actually that. See how I'm going up? I'm not dumping it down like this. I'm spiraling my hand up, which looks like this. This is what I'm doing with my hand. So if I'm bent over and I go like that, see how it spiraled up? So when it spirals up, this whole arm starts rotating like this, and it's just spiraling the hands like this. Now, why is this important? Well, it does two things. First of all, you will not lift your hands when you spiral correctly to get to the top of your backswing. Like a lot of people, you've heard them talk about, well, if you get here and you lift your hands to get to the top, then, that's problematic. And it really, really is. Because if you lift your hands, you're going to break the imaginary pane of glass. Now, remember, the pane of glass is going in this direction, but it's also going infinitely in this direction, and I mean infinitely. So if we know it's going infinitely here, and we also know it's going here, the second I lift my hands up, you can see how I've broken through that pane of glass, and that is a problem, and it was a very big problem for what Mr. Hogan believed in, okay? Now watch this. Same principle, playing here, pane of glass, but it goes infinitely this way. So now watch what happens when I spiral. I'll get set up, make the moves. Now I'm spiraling, so now look at how I'm staying underneath that pane of glass. And then when I'm coming down, look at that. It's just all day long I'm going to get into what I've got to get into. Because again, this spiraling movement is this. Now, why is this so important? Because when we look at the top of Mr. Hogan's backswing, you can see here how it looks like this wrist is kind of this way, like it's stretched as it's going around me, which puts us in that position. It looks like this is turned back a little bit, but it's stretched going this way, which is the spiraling coming up. And then from here, it is real easy to bring that club right into the impact area, okay? So when you can understand what other thing can we relate this to, believe it or not, it's a baseball swing, okay? Because in baseball, you're not going to get here, like if this is a bat, they'll hold it like a bat. I'm not going to get here and lay my wrist flat, okay? Because if I came through at the bat with the flat wrist, maybe, could be that way, doubt it. But let's go with a bowed wrist. So I've got a bowed wrist in baseball. Here it comes, coming through. Could I do that? Probably, maybe, I don't know. It's not the right way to do it. But in baseball, see how, if this is the bat, And then I've rolled the bat and I'm looking at the pitcher. See how this is kind of going this way, but it's got this cup. And this cup is what allows me to bring and to pull with these 3 fingers until I turn the right hand into an assistive lever to push the bat through the hitting area. Now, if we spiral this arm correctly, as we're rotating correctly, not turning, okay? So here we go. It has nothing to do with the right arm. It's all left arm, left side, spiral. And when I get spiraled, what you'll also notice is how this right hand gets underneath the left hand. And then from there, because I've got this spiral, now I start coming down, coming into impact, wham, and I just let this thing fly. Because until you can learn to spiral this arm correctly, you are nowhere close to doing what Mr. Hogan did. Now, Mr. Hogan did not take it down the line, come in, pick the club up, because there's no spiral in that, okay? But what he did do was spiral, and you could see it. Look at the pages in the book. Look at him on the videos. And then from there, it's just, look at how this club is going to shallow and get me into these world-class positions to where I'm actually rotating and hitting the ball correctly. Because this spiral is just like a baseball swing, softball swing. It doesn't matter, because when you get here, you're there, you step. Look at how I've still got the cup, but my arm has spiraled like this, so that now I can just bring it across my body, okay? Now, a lot of people in the modern swing are going to say, hey, getting this cup like this, setting the wrist up, that's a bad thing. In the modern swing, absolutely it is. But we are not getting this cup by going like this, because this doesn't have any spiral. We are getting it by the hand. Watch my thumb. We're getting it. So if my thumb is here at address and I'm coming up, see how that thumb is going up. It's not going down, and it's not doing this. See how you can't see it here? It's going to spiral up. So when it spirals up, that allows you to follow this solid rotation of the body, and then you just keep going. And because you spiraled, you're going to get these incredible loads. There's the rebalance move, and then everything's going to come through. So if you really want to improve, this is what if you're doing Hogan's swing now, okay? Because I believe Hogan's rotation, his body movements, the things that he was doing is far superior than the modern swing. Why? Because in the modern swing, there's a lot of lower back problems. People think there's this lateral movement and all this garbage, okay? Or in the modern swing, they're teaching everybody to get up here, dive into this left leg and all this crap. If I was pitching you a fastball, okay, and you got here like this as a baseball player, and you stepped and you got weight into this front side, I guarantee you're going to strike out, period. Face a major league pitcher, they're going to own your ass, because if you get your weight on this lead leg, they have so many options, and when they see it, you are done. You will not be playing professional baseball if you're a professional baseball player for that much longer. As a baseball player, you'd be up here like this. Here comes the pitch. You step. Do you see any weight on my left? Now as I'm coming, look at this. You might think I've got weight on my left, but I'll do it again in slow motion. There's my trigger. Here it comes. Here it comes. I do not have weight on my left. It's okay. The body's clearing. There's this good balance. Here it comes. Okay? So now let's think about this. When we spiral this arm, it is getting in tuned with the rotation. Look I am pointing to my sternum right here. This is what you have to learn to rotate around. You are not going to turn turn your whole right side and then turn again. No, you're going to spiral around the sternum bone this way. And when you do that, everybody becomes extremely flexible. Look at me. I got a belly, and I'm just going right around me. And because I've rotated, and now I'm going to spiral this arm to the top, and then all of a sudden I'm like that. There's my recenter move. Now I'm coming down. I don't have the weight on my left. I'm right there. And then when I'm coming through, look at this, guys. Boom, right through it every single time. So what does the spiraling do? Okay, let's pretend that the pane of glass right here is going to be the ceiling of my golf swing. Let's pretend that my hips are going to be the floor. So I've got a line here, the ceiling. I've got a line here, the floor. Ceiling, floor. So all of a sudden I have to spiral my arms to the ceiling, ceiling, floor being the hips. So I spiral them there. Now when I'm coming down, there it is. It's on the floor. See that? Look where it's at. It's on the floor. So it went from ceiling to the floor. And then it's just boom. Because this is the space that we are working in. So when I can spiral the hands to the ceiling of the pane of glass, start coming down to the floor, is where the pane of glass and the downswing shifts out to the right at 7.5 degrees. It is imperative. And I'm telling you, even the guys that are doing the modern swing, they're like, oh my God, if I get this club way back here, I'm going to get stuck and I'm going to do this lateral movement and all these problems. Let me tell you something. You don't have to worry about this stuff because Mr. Hogan's rotation was world class with this pivot, but he did not get his weight on his left and he did not move his hands to a flat position. He didn't try to set his hands up to get this cup. He didn't move them into a bowed position. He allowed this hand to spiral up. And when you do it correctly, you're going to turn the club upside down. This would be right side up. If you took it just like this, moved it over your shoulder just like that, pointed it down, the club is now upside down. So look at it. It's right side up. We're going to pick it up, put it up here. It's upside down. Now watch this. It's right side up. It's right side up. I spiral, I spiral, I spiral. It's upside down. And then all of a sudden when I turn, everybody's like, in this camera angle, I'd really be back here, but I'm trying to show you the club head. It's pointing down. Why? Because I've turned, but when I get here, it's upside down compared to where it started to. So all you're trying to do with the spiral is turn the shaft or the club head upside down. It's going to stay there. Now I'm rotating around. Now I'm going to come down in the downswing. And when I come down in the downswing, watch what happens. Club base gets back to square. So another way to look at this. When you spiral correctly, put your finger on the balance point where the club has its balance, right? So let's make sure I've got that in the right spot. Should be a little off. For this club, it's right there. See how I'm balancing this thing on one finger? So now that's where it's at. So I'm going to spiral my hands to the top. Now I'm going to push as I'm coming down. Look at what this club is. It's wide open. Everybody's going, oh my God, it's wide open. But then it turns down. And you guys have seen, turn the hands down, turn the hands down. Everybody's like, oh, you can't do that. Well, for those people that don't think you can do it, just go ahead and keep hitting a block and a fade and all those things and working the ball and missing it two ways, because everybody, when they're coming down, you have to turn the hands down to get them from this position to that position. And it's coming down like this because it gets easier when you learn how to spiral this left arm. If you have any problems with it, leave the comments below, and I'll be glad to help you out. But just remember, it's so simple. You've got to say, okay, when I take this club away with the left side of my body and I get to here, this spiral now has to start going this way. And the objective is to turn the club upside down. But if you get here and you take the club up, club's not upside down. Look at the face. When I turn it upside down, you'll see how the back of the club is on the outside and the face of the club is pointing to me. So bowing it, nope. Flat wrist, nope. Spiral, you turn it upside down. Now all of a sudden that balance point in you coming down because you've got this great spiral, now the hands just turn down right into the shot. It's really simple, but I can't stress to you enough. You have got to master this spiraling because the spiraling won't let you lift up, won't let you lift over the ceiling, help you bring it back down to the floor. There's so many wonderful things that are going to help you, but really it has nothing to do with the trail arm. Once you learn to spiral and really start making your golf swing with the left hand to get you to the top or the lead hand, because in baseball, watch this, here's a baseball bat. I'm right here. When I go back, that was more with my left hand. When I start coming down, it's more with my left hand. When I start coming to about right here, and then Mr. Hogan, 3 right hands, it's at this point in a baseball swing where the right hand would get active. The same thing happens in the golf swing. This trail arm is nothing. It is assisting the orbit of the elbow to keep everything where it's supposed to be. It is assisting with putting the hand underneath the shaft at the top, and then it is an assistive lever that then explodes with 3 right hands. But it can only be achieved, and I'm trying to really get this into y'all's head, because for a lot of you, that's going to scare the shit out of you. Oh my God, that club face, if it's pointing over here, how am I going to get it to come down? This tool is built to go right side up, upside down, rotate down. Just the way it is, guys. Hope this information helps. Give it a try. Again, like I said, if you have any questions, any problems, write them down in the comments below, and I will do another video on this very special topic of why it is so important to spiral the arm to get to the top and then hold that spiral until you have to let it go in the downswing. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next video.